Hi, my name is Jesse Jack. I made some like boom bap, groovy 90s type stuff today, and I'm gonna take you through it, show you some of my techniques, provide some free education, and we're gonna have some fun. That's what it's all about. Let's do it. So, with this beat, first thing I did was this drum pattern. Super tight snare, super cheap, weird sounds. Doesn't really make sense in this context, but what I like to do is I like to make things cohesive and build a foundation. So what I did was I turned them into these drums here. All I did, super simple, was I put a saturator on them just to give them a bit more punch. There's a reverb, and then I pitched them down 7 semitones. So this is what they sound like at regular pitch. Really don't sound great, but when you drop them 7 semitones, add a little bit of drive, they sound pretty cool to me, you know what I mean? Yeah, that's sort of the basis of the framework that I worked with on this song. Super simple groove. A little bit of a late hi-hat, sort of J Dilla thing going on there. So that was what I worked with at the basis of the drums. A lot of the song features these like glitchy things. So this was just me using the init preset on the Korg mini log. I just turned the octave all the way down so it's about as low as pitch, and you get this really interesting sort of digital, like, clipped the shit out of it here. And I think it's just being sent partly to the drum reverb as well. It's also saturated. And then here I'm going to start to break down the melodic and harmonic elements. So the harmonic elements of this song, super simple. This is the first layer, patch from my Korg mini log. All it is a G6. I think it's root voicing as well, so it's literally just a G6 chord. That's it. Here is like a bit of a more, just to give it a little bit more warmth. Quite a nice low like organ type sound. I've got a little bit of a cute melody here just to accent the groove. This is also sent to the drum bus of the effects. So I sort of treated these drums here like they were a sample. So when I sample, what I do is I establish an effects rack for that sample. So I'll establish if I want saturators, tape machines, delays, reverbs. And once I have all that stuff, what I'll do is if only slightly, I'll run all the rest of the elements of that song through that same effects rack. It just creates a lot more cohesive sound. I highly recommend doing it if you're sampling, because I wanted my music to sound like I was just like I was there recording with the people who recorded the sample. You know what I mean? Not like I'm some head who went on YouTube and just found some sample and was just adding stuff over the top of it just because. You know what I mean? I want it to all sound cohesive and organic. That's the goal here. The bass on this song, doing some very simple stuff. Keeping to the root and the 6, which is pretty interesting. Just keeping to the chord tones that I'm using in the song, really simple. Rhythmically, they're not doing anything crazy, just keeping it simple. I've got some more of these glitch sounds here, pretty cool. And then I've just got this hat. And it's just a tambo layer for the snare, so altogether it all sounds like this. You know, very digital but very organic. And down here, I've got this little arpeggiator thing I played. I really just wanted it to just keep things interesting. In this section, I've taken out the drums. So there's a bunch of space for an artist to experiment here rhythmically, but they do need to stick to some sort of strong groove just to keep that sort of feeling. And if I play this without a metronome, it sounds super whack and weird, but if I play it with one, it does have a lot of feel. But that feel is going to have to come from within the artist and what they want to do with that section. So what I'm doing is I'm just giving them a lot of freedom, a lot of trust, and a lot of respect, because that's the most important part. I heard some people at university one time say something like, oh, the artist just comes up with the lyrics, it's the producer doing all the work. It's like, that is not true, bro. No one wants to listen to your beats on their own unless you're some legend like J Dilla, Madlib, Knowledge, people like that. You know what I mean? No one wants to do that. The people are there for the artist. The artist does everything. Steve Albini doesn't want to take points on a record because no one is listening to Nirvana for Steve Albini. You know what I mean? People are listening to Nirvana for Nirvana. Like, there's a few people who are doing that. Rest in peace. But most people are listening just for Nirvana. You know what I'm saying? So it's very important to respect and appreciate artists and respect and appreciate everyone who's in the process of making music, because without the team together, there's nothing. You know, this beat, it's cool, but it really wouldn't be that interesting without an artist on it, you know what I'm saying? In the second half of this 8-bar section, I did bring the bass back. In this first 4-bar, I really opened the ceiling to possibilities, really did. And what I learned in counterpoint is that if you go up, you do always have to take a step down, okay? That's melodically, but I'm gonna apply that philosophy to here as well, because if I was to keep this possibility floor high the whole time, you know, I'm probably making an ambient song. Nothing's gonna gel together if I just keep stacking and stacking on new random elements that just doesn't really make sense. Like this part, if this part was the whole song, the artist does not have a basis to work from. So I am taking that away, but I'm putting it back in shortly after. So I'm putting this bass back in, and all it's really doing is just hitting the 1 and accenting the flow into the 1 just here. And we come back in with a drum fill that I did. Super simple. That's the philosophy behind that section. So here, I'm kind of doing that again by including the 2 weird sounds, but I do have the basis and the foundation back with the drums. I've taken out all the melodic elements to continually switch up the arrangement and keep the instrumental interesting. Just as interesting as the artist is going to be on top of it. Like that, crazy rhythm, like good feel. If an artist was just keeping to that structured groove, that would come on so hard, you know what I mean? That's the important part, is trusting the artist and giving them space to experiment and meeting them halfway. You know, I want to come and share my creative vision in the end product as well, you know what I'm saying? And I want to do that by having my passion, blood, sweat, tears, heart and soul just as much in the music as it will be in their verse, you know what I mean? So here I've just bring back the original thing. I'm letting the bass go a little bit crazier, doing some octave stuff. Here I'm sort of doing this like little stabby thing with the main harmonic element. But as I'm doing that, I'm also adding to the melodic basis. The rapper or artist in this song is going to form most of the melodic basis with the cadence and tone they pick for this song. But I did decide to sort of just add like a little bit, you know, to change it up and also just give it a bit more context melodically. Here I've got a new section where I just pitch the beat all the way down. This arpeggiator thing comes back, it hits a weird rhythm. You are gonna have to put a gun to my head to ask me how I did this filter sweep thing. I think it's a Korg mini log thing though. And yeah, I've just come back with the full beat here. You know what, we should probably have a conversation about this. Probably my favorite part of the beat, especially how it comes in. I'll switch it up. I don't care if you're ready for it. So this is how I sort of structured the drums. Again, I went with just like raise the ceiling and then bring it back. So with these samples I picked, it's weird as hell. Super like Dilla with the hi-hat, super late. It's got feel. And then I did pretty much the exact same approach. I think it's even sent through track 4. Track 15, sent to track 4. I added a little bit of OTT. So this is what it sounds like after the fact. Crazy groove. This part, what I do sometimes is I'll make something and just be like, this is just terrible. Like, this sucks. And then what I'll do is, just in case it comes back in handy later, is I'll export it, add the tempo, and just put it in a samples folder with a bunch of other stuff that I basically had the exact same attitude on. So this is just like some super weird distorted ambience I made in a song, and I just decided to use it here. This, if you know where that's from, you and I can be mates. I'm not gonna say, you can find it yourself. It's one of my favorite parts and one of my favorite songs of all time. Here, got the bass, pretty much doing the exact same thing. I think it's literally still following the G, yeah. And I've got this kick. We just needed a little bit more low end here, a little bit more punch to just emphasize the difference between the two sections. I'm pretty proud of how that comes in, so. make you wait. I make you wait. I hit you with a brand new groove. Brand new context. I make you wait 2 bars to understand where we're at. This sample, Intro to Will I Come by King Cruel, one of my favorite songs of all time, probably. No compressor. So, because all of these are different volumes, right? You can sort of see that. I'll zoom in. You can see that all of these are different volumes, but I guess I left it, which is pretty legendary, because like normally I would compress something like that to make it a bit more consistent, but I think I also wanted to have this sort of uphill effect in this last bit to really emphasize the breakdown that happens here. But yeah, so super simple. I think I just pitched it down. I pitched it up. I pitched it up to hit the key of G. I didn't want to just completely switch up the key like that. That would be too crazy. Shout out Rode McDonald, King Cruel on the production. I think he did Sampha's Process as well. The textural, the textures, the chords, also stretched out and warped. Really, really nice. All together, sounds like this. There's a bit of dissonance here, but I sort of just use that to create a really strange feeling before the beat just completely cuts out. Here I've got this little Love Galore outro. I just tried to make a synth that sounds exactly like that. On the Korg Mini Log, baby. Shout out the Korg Mini Log. Yeah, I've got some weird rhythmic stuff here with another synthesizer. I think I was just playing with the cutoff pretty much. Tried to get it on beat as best I could, but still sounds pretty cool. Also played with the feedback, I believe, on the mini log. That is the whole thing broken down, explained. Thank you. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Jency Jack. Handle on Instagram right there. DM me if you live locally in Sydney. I'm really trying to find some more producers to build communities and new sounds with and everything like that. When I grew up at school, no one really wanted to make music or was interested in it the same way that I was, so I'm really trying to find that sort of sense of community to support each other, you know, and innovate and make new music and just make it happen in Sydney. Because I feel like that's really important. There's a lot of great stuff in Sydney that's happening that people aren't paying attention to. I really just want to build that sort of sense of community. Reach out to me, let's work. I'm so keen to work. I will work around the clock. I will bust my fucking ass for you. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it.